It's Doc and Ellie. It's Doc and Ellie. And if it's Doc and Ellie.
Hello, friends. Doc Granger coming to you from Thomaston, Georgia. Mama used to say 60 miles south of Atlanta, but a few steps closer to heaven. This Thanksgiving, Doc turns his focus to the small moments in life. I've caught up with many of you while standing in the line at the grocery checkout, sitting on the park bench at Greatest Generation Park, propped up against our Porch Babes Rolling Thunder truck roadside. And you've been asked this question: who taught you to tie your shoelaces? One of those childhood or early teen experiences that stays with you for the rest of your life. My mama taught me how to tie my shoelaces, just like she taught me to take my shoes off before wading in the Potato Creek. Another one of those teaching moments that last a lifetime comes from our Doc and Ellie Pubcast guest tonight, and that's Coach Tommy Perdue. I had not seen Tommy Perdue in longer than many of you have been alive until 2 months ago when he taught me. But what he taught me, one of those things that comes from mamas and daddies and teachers and preachers and uncles and aunts, and one of those things that stays with you for a lifetime. In a sports sense, some lessons stay with you long after the game is over and you have forgotten the darn thing. I was 12 years old the first time Coach Tommy Perdue showed me how to hit a golf ball. I'm not even sure he was a golfer then, but he was an athlete. And on this summer day, he had golf clubs. Didn't happen on a golf course or a driving range or anywhere a golfer would reasonably expect to be taught anything. It happened at Silvertown Ballpark, right there along the right field foul line. During one of those summertime mill-sponsored events, they put on for us children of the mill workers. Back then, a free hot dog tasted like a feast, and a Coke from a cooler was as cold as spring water, and the whole world seemed safely fenced inside the chalk lines of that wonderful baseball park. Coach said, "You hit a baseball pretty good, son." Handed me a golf club. "Have you ever hit a golf ball?" "No, sir." "Give it a try." A grown man's golf club, and I had to choke down almost to the metal just to manage it. He pushed a little tee in the ground and pointed down the long stretch of the foul line chalk toward the corner of right field. He said, "Don't worry about how far, just see how close you can land it to the line. Not powerful, not dazzling, just a true shot." At 12 years old, I didn't understand that he was teaching me more than golf. He was teaching me steadiness, focus, a kind of patience and precision that life would later reveal in thousands of little ways. Then life did what life often does. It sent us on separate paths. Not long after that last Silvertown summer, my family packed up and moved to Atlanta. Daddy hung up his mill clothes and the cotton in his black hair and became a truck driver. A job he loved with his whole heart. He always said the road gave him peace and purpose and stories worth telling. He lived out the rest of his life happy in a cab of a truck, watching sunrises unfold mile after mile. And Doc, well, I found a microphone. I became a DJ, then a manager, then an investor, then a business owner. Life carried me through radio stations and studios and cities and on stage and backstage, rock and roll bands and stories of every shape and size. My world grew wide and loud, full of people and places I had no idea I'd ever see when I was that boy on the right field line, that I would see Coach Perdue again. One thing never left me, that lesson about hitting the ball true. And after all these decades, life, in its funny circular way, brought me back home, back to the Milltown that raised me, back to Silvertown's echoes, back to the people whose small kindnesses turned out to be big ones. Today, Ellie and I have projects, 360news.com, Doc and Ellie's Pubcast, Porch Babes, and a book that keeps tapping me on the shoulder, a book that Mama asked me to write about my hometown. and it's all taking shape. There's some resistance. You can't shine a light in a town used to shadows without a few folks shielding their eyes. But the lesson remains. Hit it true, not hard. Which brings me to this moment, a moment I never imagined happening until it did. After not seeing Coach for more than half a century, I walked into URMC Wellness Center, and there he was. I recognized the face, a little older, carrying the same calm, centered presence he had when his steadied hands showed me how to hold that golf club that was too big for me. There's something powerful about meeting someone again after time has had its say. So today is not just an interview, it's a reunion. It's a homecoming, a long arc reaching back to a single afternoon at Silvertown Ballpark, and it's an honor. Coach, we're here today to talk about your life, your lessons, your coaching years, your family, your legacy, all of it, but more than that, we're here to celebrate the quiet ways you shape the lives around you, including mine. So with that, and with gratitude that stretches across decades, I'd like to welcome Coach Tommy Perdue. Let's talk, Coach.
Okay.
Coach, before the plays and the practices and the Friday night lights, who was young Tommy Perdue?
Just a normal kid.
Yeah?
That's all I can say.
Well,
I like to play. I like
adventurous?
To play. I like to play sports.
Okay.
And that's what,
a competitor.
yeah, I like to do that, yes.
How about your family life with your growing up family? Were they in Thomaston?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we lived in the country.
Where in
And
the country?
I came in every morning and either played at Weaver Park or Silvertown. I worked at Silvertown.
Right.
It's a great place.
It was a great
The kids
place.
all could walk to the park, and that wasn't very far from anybody. It was just a good place to, no hills to climb, or just
There you go.
get there. A lot of things to do there: horseshoes, ping pong, baseball. on
All
and on.
provided.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was a wonderful place to grow
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Were your parents, did your parents work in the mill?
No,
Okay.
we lived out in the country.
Yeah.
And I came in, I knew most of the people because I'd been to school in town and knew most of the people there.
Well, I've said it already, but I'll say it again and maybe again after that. You were about 19 years old the last time I saw you. I was just a kid. What do you remember about Thomaston itself compared to what it is now? I know Silvertown. Silvertown is fresh on my mind, but how about Thomaston itself?
Thomaston itself, I always thought was a great place to raise a family.
Mhm.
And it was something to do in the summer that you didn't have to sit around the house and maybe start watching TV or something. We had baseball and all kind of plays, everything at the Silvertown Ballpark, and it was a great place for the kids to come. They know the parents knew they'd be looked after, and we also taught swimming lessons, and then we'd have picnics on Friday and drive to Perch Pool, and it was just a wonderful place to be.
A lot of places to go fishing, too.
Yeah.
Were you a
Yeah.
fisherman?
No, sir.
Every great coach has a moment when they realize, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to be. When did that moment happen for you?
I guess I was probably in my early 20s, just out of college, and I just thought that would be the thing for me to do, and it was.
Who influenced your coaching philosophy?
Coach Kevin, who's my first boss, is assistant coach here in Thomaston, and he really got me into how it's done.
Do you remember who influenced Coach Cavan's philosophy?
No, I don't. He was an older person then when I started working for him.
So he was already a seasoned
Yeah,
coach.
I played for him. I played football for him
Okay.
at Robert E. Lee, and then I just kind of worked my way in, and that's where I started.
So you probably also played, I don't know if you played for him, but you probably knew the other great coach. I'm drawing a blank.
You talking about maybe Franco?
Well, Franco was high school.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the coach that, when you said Weaver Park, I remember midget football with Coach Dawkins.
Yes.
Did you work with him at all?
I worked one summer down there and then moved out to Silvertown.
Yeah. He was a great coach.
Oh yeah.
Tough coach,
Yeah.
but he knew how to be tough and fair with young kids.
You're exactly right.
We had great respect for him. Now, they would have no reason to remember me because I was kind of in and out of here. I grew up out in the country, kind of like you did. I grew up born on Delray Road and grew up on Jeff Davis Road before we moved into to Silvertown. But the backfield that I was in midget football with Coach Dawkins was Mike Cavan, the quarterback, that little scat back, Johnny Caldwell. I can still see him go through the line. And a lot of other names, Woody Woodall and all those guys. I think Scott Owens maybe was on that team. And the guy with the biggest feet on the team and a great football player, I'll bet you remember Ronnie Lowe.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever play? You would have been older then.
I was older than him, and I coached. I was assistant coach when he played at Robert E. Lee.
A good player, wasn't he?
Man, yeah, he went to Florida State.
Yep.
So really, yeah, he was a great player.
Proud of him.
Yeah.
What was that first season as a coach like? Did it take a while to fit in? Or?
Yeah, no, you had a lot to learn. You mean you don't just step off the street and start coaching football. That's not. You learn as you go, and listen to the people that's been there. Like Coach Kevin was the head man and the athletic director, so you had to learn from inside.
Yeah. Discipline. What did that mean to you in dealing
Behaving yourself.
Okay. And you taught that to your
Yeah.
players. How did you teach these young guys to be accountable?
Well, first thing, if they weren't, something bad might happen to them.
They weren't around very long.
But it was a great place to grow up and a great place to learn the inside and outside of coaching. With Coach
And when you
Gavin.
think of those great coaches, as you mentioned, Cavan and Tommy Perdue, did you have a favorite drill or lesson that players still bring up today? They still think about?
I got one they think about,
Uh-huh.
and that is a little drill called Bull in the Ring, and that's what it was.
Ah.
Then you pour it out, and then you
Headbutt.
Yeah. It was just it's tough.
So the guys probably still remember. The guys still remember Bull in the Ring.
Oh yeah. Thing just they still remember. The thing about that little thing you had to do, you had to learn how to make them behave while they were in school.
Uh-huh.
And so I came up with this one. I told them all as a group, the whole team, the teacher is always right.
Right.
And if you're not, so what? Come in there and sit down, shut your mouth and open the book, and you won't ever have any problem. So I said, remember, the teacher's always right. The teacher didn't go to the principal, but she came to me or sent word to me about so-and-so was cutting up in class. So it was called the bank. It was a bank. And as practice ended, you called a name out, he knew what was coming. The rest of them went in, and he ran 25 banks after practice now.
Okay.
And that was very helpful.
It was.
Yeah. And the teachers loved it. because they didn't have to do it once or twice, because it wasn't really much fun at all.
So you were in cahoots with the administration, kind of.
Yes.
You were their backup or their support.
They didn't even have to worry about it. The teacher would come to me and say, so and so is giving me some problems in class. That was it. I didn't ask her what was it. I said, that's all I need to know.
That's it. All I need to
Yeah.
know. Was there a moment when you realized that these boys trust me? They are with me?
Oh, well, you could tell the way they practiced, the way they played. I think that showed them a lot there.
You could see them coming together as a team?
Yes, you could see. You knew you were getting better than when you started.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good.
One local sports historian I spoke with about football in this town said this: if you want to know how to run a football program, all you need to do is reflect on how Tommy Perdue and Jim Cavan ran their programs. Those teams were competitive even when losing. You could go around the state of Georgia anywhere, and anyone familiar with high school football knew about R.E. Lee football. It was a very well-respected program. And there was another name in the state of Georgia. I wonder if you remember. Wright Bazemore?
Oh, it's Valdosta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great one. Yeah.
Well known
Very
in
well known.
in college circles. Just a real quick personal story. Attending a San Francisco Giants baseball game. And we go in, and the ushers are retired people who had chosen to stay in California. And so they were the ushers to get you in and get you seated, so on and so forth. And they wore name tags. So our usher was so-and-so from Valdosta, Georgia. And all I said was, Wright Bazemore. You knew Wright Bazemore? I said, no, I never knew him, but everybody knows Wright Bazemore, just like they know Jim Cavan and Coach Tommy Perdue. Suddenly, my tickets were upgraded. We're down closer to the field, and suddenly a beer pops up, and so on and so forth. It's good in a big city to find somebody that you have some common ground with that can pull a few strings like that. You know how that is. Let's talk about those Friday nights. Let's talk about the big wins and also the heartbreaking losses, the highs and the lows. You've experienced those, right?
Oh, sure.
Tell me about the highest high you had.
The highest high I had?
Yeah,
We won the state championship.
I know that.
That was the high.
But that was more than one game. I mean, that was the high for a career, right?
Well, it was just a great feeling,
Yeah.
And we defeated the team in Thomaston, and I forgot who the team is. It was in 1980.
I'll bet they haven't forgotten.
No, 1988 was when it happened.
So what do you do after you reach that high?
Well, you want another one?
Uh-huh.
I never got another one. It's tough.
But you got one.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
How many has the town had? How many did R.E. Lee have? Uh-huh. How about the heartbreaking losses? Were there any?
Yes.
Which one comes to
If you
mind?
stay in it long enough, you're going to have some heartbreaking losses, and you just got to suck it up Sunday and get things ready to go Monday. You can't dwell on it. You tell them the problem, bring in the injuries and so forth on Saturday, meeting on Sunday, and then you start over.
Let's talk about one of those games that on paper and in your mind and in the minds and hearts of all the players, you expected to win and you lost. Take me into the locker room. What am I going to hear from Coach Perdue about that game that we should have won? How do you handle that with young kids?
First thing, you get it off the mind that quick because it's not going to come back. You're not going to happen, it's Monday morning or Monday afternoon when you practice. It's over with. You just got to start over.
And that's what you do.
Yeah, you start over. And you had your meetings with your coaches on Sunday and you find out what can we do, what mistakes do we, we just go over film, and so forth. And then, you got ready Monday, and here we go, it's another day.
The town has had one state championship.
Yes.
You've had some heartbreaking losses. You've had an awful lot.
I don't try to even recall.
We don't even think about those. But when you think about the rivalries, see, when I was here, the big rivalry was LaGrange.
Mm-hmm. And the other one was Griffin.
And Griffin. That's correct.
Yeah.
Do you still hear the sound of the crowd?
Maybe in a dream or something, but I don't. That's,
You're separated
I'm
from
separated,
it.
Yeah.
I see the coaches running out on the field ahead of their team, and I can imagine what a great feeling that must be at any level of sport, but particularly when you are coaching at your level and you are winning a major championship. I see it in the eye. What was that like?
Nothing like it.
Nothing
it's
like
hard
it.
to explain.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What players over the years still make you smile when their names come up?
Well, one of the best athletes we've had here while I was there was Mike Kevin. He could do anything. He could kick off. He could hit extra points. He could throw the ball. He could just everything he could do. He was just he was unbelievable.
And then he went on and did that at the University of Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Jimmy Cavan, had three sons that played at a high level. He had Mike, and he had Pete. Where did Pete play? Alabama?
Quarterback. Oh, he went to Alabama.
Well,
yeah, played at Alabama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then his other son, I think, played for Tech.
Jimmy.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Cavan.
played at Tech.
The ups and downs, things you have no control over, like injuries and pressure from probably mostly mother, but mother and daddy, parents of children. How did you handle that?
I didn't ever have any problem with them.
You didn't hear it, or they just trusted you that my son
I don't know.
is
They
in...
might have been calling me everything, but I never did hear it, and I never did have to worry about parents or anything like that. Of course, especially if their son got hurt, I'd want to get him to, maybe some kind of injury. We try to get it back going quick as we could.
They trusted you.
Yeah.
How did you know it was time to walk away from the sidelines?
Because I was worn completely out.
How? In what way?
And here and concerned about getting everybody passed at school and whether it be eligible and so forth. That's the things you had to worry about before you got to practice. Make sure you got them behaving, make sure that they know what's going on, and it's just, that was it.
Was it hard to walk away?
No,
You were ready.
I was ready.
And you got a condo down in Florida.
Yes, sir.
That made you ready. You were prepared.
Yes, yes.
What did you miss most about not being on the sidelines?
Just atmosphere.
Yep.
Nothing like it. You start we call it going down the bank to get lined up on the sideline, and you're nervous, but then as soon as they kicked it off, you could settle down and do what you're supposed to be doing.
Because you were prepared.
I hope so.
Prepared for the game.
Yeah.
If you weren't prepared for
Yeah,
the game, then
you-
you wouldn't be relaxed.
That's right.
What surprised you about life after coaching? Because you had been involved in athletics
Long now.
all your life.
Yeah. Well, I started playing golf for one thing, and I wasn't very good, but for a while I played a little bit. But just you find something to do, and I started doing exercise
Uh-huh.
and just try to keep yourself moving and doing what you're supposed to do, keeping yourself fit and so forth. Watch your weight and this and that. And like when you're in football season, I probably gained 15 to 20 pounds because that nerves are talking to you.
You still watch football on TV?
Huge, yeah, yes. I sure do.
College, sports,
Yes.
NFL?
I like the college game better than the pro. I like both of them, but if you had a choice and they were playing over here, listen over here, I'm going with the college.
If a young coach came to you today and said, Coach Perdue, what do I need to know to make it as a coach? What would you say to him?
Son, you got to work your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's all it is. It's day to day, hard as you can go during the season, and then you get them, season's over with, and you get them in the weight room, and you start working on that.
Not an easy road.
No, it's not.
Life's not, is it?
No.
Just so happens your life was coaching.
Yes.
What matters most in guiding young men? Because the influence you had on young men lasts a lifetime. It lasted with me, though I never played for you. You were not coaching us. You were overseeing us as part of a summer program sponsored by the Mill. But that one moment in time where you showed me how to hold a golf club lasted an entire lifetime. And I would think if you take that steps further to a young man who is playing the game for you and experiencing all of the things that you've talked about, the practices and the preparation and so on and so forth, I can only imagine the impact that sort of relationship would have versus mine with you, which was just a brief encounter. But that brief encounter has lasted all the way to sitting here and talking with you tonight. Isn't that amazing?
Good to hear.
Yes. And there's a whole population of people out there who are watching this now and they are remembering their special moments of playing with Tommy Perdue. And I will hear from them. I will get emails from them. They will tell me about things that are still inside them that they probably would not have learned had they not been involved in sports and they had not been lucky to be there at this time. What do you think has changed about kids today in the game? And I know you're not directly involved with it, but you know what's going on with NIL and all of that.
I don't like it.
And why is that?
It's the way you get your players. You got to have your state that you live in has got to come up with some money and so forth. And some states can't raise it like other states can. It's just all about, check the ones that's got oil wells. They have plenty of it, you know.
But they still have to play the game.
Yeah.
Now, when I see a team like Indiana or a team like Vanderbilt, and some of the during my time of being attached to football, they were kind of also rans. I mean, those were the games that you knew you were going to win if you go into Nashville to play Vanderbilt. But that whole thing is flipped. Now, how much of that has to do with nil? Are we seeing players today who before nil maybe were on the bench? Are we simply seeing, are there more players getting an opportunity?
It's according to whether they can play or not, you know.
Yeah.
That's the big deal, and that's the way it is.
But you don't see it in any way as a positive.
I know.
I keep hearing about a potential compromise of, I mean, now that we are paying players, chances are we will always be paying players. Chances are that's not going to change. But maybe that player should have to remain with the team for a certain amount of time before he can transfer.
I like the old way. You got free meals, free place to stay, and that seems quite a bit of, you know, what it costs to go to college now, and you get a free shot. And the other thing I like about it, I like that if you want to leave my team, then you got to sit out a year. Then you can do what you want to. But now they put the knapsack over and walk out the door, and go down the road and say, "Oh, I think I'll stay at this place."
So the coach is less in charge, probably.
They pack it up, let's go, and you can play the next week.
So
It's
the
a different
loyalty factor has been hurt. The loyalty to the team.
I like it when if you leave, you got to sit out a year, and then you can start over. You can play again, but now go.
It seems like that way is the popular way that I am hearing, that there has to be a compromise, and maybe that is where
I hope so.
Where the
I
compromise
really
is
do, but,
coming.
you know, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna still watch it. So you know.
there's still 90,000 people
Yeah, still 90 there.
in the stadium.
You can look at our region and in this area, the states around us, and you watch on Sunday when they play, or Friday or Saturday, whenever they play, they fill it up. I look at every one of those. I watched every one. In very few seats you see in the stadium, in the 10 or 12 teams we have in our area.
When folks look back on Coach Perdue's life in Thomaston decades from now, what do you hope they say?
Well, I really don't know. Remember this, you can't satisfy everybody. Just do your job and let the talent go with the hide.
So more important to you then would be what your players say versus what the general population would say?
But what my players say means a lot to me. You know, what I always try to do, be fair, but work the devil out of them.
Who was the toughest team you ever played?
There's a lot of them now. I can't come up with very many. When we were in a region, a smaller region, when we separated schools, Mary Persons was a good team, and they were hard to beat. And that's what comes to my mind right now.
You've lived 85 remarkable years. You've coached boys into men, and you've shaped a town more than I think even you realize. If you could go back and talk to that 19-year-old that I saw years ago when I was 12, you're looking in the mirror now and you're talking to yourself, what would you tell him about your life and about what has made you happy, and what, if times, anything you've regretted?
I think, thinking about, as we sit here, I think about the good times, hard work and good times. That's the best thing I could remember. Hard work and good times. If you do it right, you're gonna win more than you lose.
That hasn't changed, has it?
No, sir.
Time hasn't dimmed for Coach Perdue. I know that because I see you work out every day at the Wellness Center. Coach Tommy Perdue is 85. Time hasn't dimmed 1 ounce of who he is to Upson County. Coaches teach plays. Great coaches teach people. And if you listen closely, you can still hear a little echo of his voice on T-Towns in Friday nights. And what I wanted to come away from this with, I was rewarded with my own Coach Tommy Perdue football. Thank you, Coach.
You're so welcome.
This is a
I
great
enjoyed
honor.
this.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
The Doc and Ellie Pubcast. The Doc and Ellie Pubcast. The Doc and Ellie Pubcast.